Hi, this is Zach Meir with the Bulletin Board Heroes here at Zach's Traders Cafe for Friday, the 10th of November. Starting off with the FTSE 100, where it's a case of oh dear with the fall today, and really just hanging on to the initial September support there around 73.70. Below that, we've got an uptrend line there from back in March, 7,300. And the worst case scenario is that we roll over and head down to 71.40 at the floor of that falling February trend channel. Best case is that we then head back up to retest the 50-day moving average zone around the 7,500 level, but given that that's falling, as is the 200-day line, not looking very pretty at the moment. Moving along to the DAX, and DAX had a great week last week, as did many markets, but actually the better place in the FTSE at the moment. We had the bear trap island reversal, so above 15,000 looking bullish. Probably a struggle to get through the 50-day moving average today, 15,300. But if we can get an end-of-day close above that, as we did yesterday, then the next target there would be 15,500 and post-October resistance on the downside. 15,000 hopefully will hold for this market. Moving along to the Dow, and here you can see that yesterday's decline actually underlined the way that we've got that resistance line there from back in August, around 34,200. Below that, we were hoping that the market would find support at the 200-day line, 33,800. Next level down after that is the floor of the first November gap, 33,300. But we're hoping that the 200-day line there will stem the losses above the 34,200 level in that August line. Looking for 35,000 by the end of this month. On to Bitcoin, which headed into new higher ground yesterday, at least near-term higher ground. Beautiful bull flag breakout there, and about the level really is we want to see this market hold above the top of the gap, top of the flag rather, there at 35,100. Above that, we're looking for 43,000 by the end of this month. It was the case that that consolidation was a mid-move consolidation, and we'd hope for another gap to the upside as we had going into the first consolidation, maybe later this month. But above 35,100, feeling quite confident about Bitcoin at the moment. Moving on to the stocks and the return of Armadale Capital here. Here you can see that we've got a rising 50-day line, and we've got the market consolidating above that. I call that a sideways shuffle. So a retest of the recent peak there around 1 penny, and then looking for the 200-day moving average at 1.2 pence sometime later this month. Obviously, we'd like to stay above the 0.8 area, which is just below rather, recent support. Moving on to Chaarat, and here, well, it's been a rather grim time for the shares. They did gap through the 50-day moving average, and we did say that this could take them back to the old support area around 6 pence. We're nearly there now. Above 6.1 pence, which was the old August floor, we're looking for up to 10 pence by the end of the year, which is basically resistance on the way down back in the summer. This stage only well below the 50-day line, 4.3 pence, delaying the upside scenario. One of the solid situations for 2023 to date has been Empire Metals, and here we had the bear trap gap reversal late last month. We found support now on the 50-day line at 4.3 pence, and we're still looking and longing for the top of that rising trend channel from back in December last year. That's currently pointing to a 6.75 pence target, which if we're lucky we'll hit by the end of next month. Moving on to a stock which I covered recently, and it's hit the target twice now that we had the top of that broadening triangle from November last year around the 260 level. The current situation is that above 260 we're looking for 320, which if we look back is a 2-year resistance line projection, and hoping to hit that by sometime by the end of January. So the golden cross there and the V-shaped bull flag should hopefully get the shares on the move. If you're cautious, you wait for an end of day close above the October peak at £2.71. Moving on to gear for music, and here a bit of a punchy call here perhaps, given the way that the shares have actually fallen back quite a lot from their peak, which was target we were looking for 160 previously, so that was great, but the shares probably come back more than we expected. Current situation is we've had a rebound above a rising 200-day line, and we've got a sharply rising 50-day moving average, so the call here is that above that 200-day line at 104, we're looking for the shares to retest the September peak towards £1.70 by the end of next month, by the end of November. On to Poolbeg, which has beefed up its board in a very significant way, and at the same time managed to hit that technical target that I had there the last time I looked at the shares. That's an April resistance line projection at the top of a broadening triangle from that month, and above the 9.6 pence target, which has been hit. We're looking for 11 pence by the end of the month, which hopefully will be delivered. But you can see the reaction there. It's all about management in the growth companies space. A stock which I haven't looked at for ages is Quartix, and here you can see we're looking at a situation where we've broken back above the floor of that gap. That was there at £1.60. Above £1.60, we're looking for the shares to close the gap down from September at £2, hopefully by the end of next month or even sooner. Ideally, we stay on the right side of the 50-day line, around £1.74 in the meantime. Shearwater I looked at, I think, earlier this week, and here we've got that trend line break and a break above the 50-day moving average at 41 pence. Above that, looking for the 200-day moving average area at 57 pence as soon as the end of this month. Moving along to Tintra, which has got a rather weird chart, but looking as though there is some recovery in the air. We had, I suppose we closed that gap down. It was a bear trap situation there, and above the 50-day line now rising at 76 pence. We're looking for the 200-day moving average at 93 initially, so hopefully in the next week or two, and then up to £1.20 as soon as the end of this month. Ideally, we stay above that 50-day line, obviously. Tirupati has had a rebound as well, helped by China being rather mean with its graphite. We've had a rebound here above the 50-day moving average at 18 pence, and above that looking for a retest of the best levels of the turn of the month, maybe up to the 200-day moving average at 28 pence by the end of this month. Always worth looking at Upland, given that managed to hold relatively steady after the rug was pulled. Here it's interesting to see that the 50-day line is rising, and we're seeing price action at or above that 50-day line. Want to see an end of day close above 3 pence to maybe give the shares a chance of filling that gap up to 3 3/4 pence sometime later this month, hopefully in the next week or two. But that rising 50-day line, as well as the rising 200-day moving average, giving a bit more encouragement to that technical situation at the moment. Brilliant results today, and a brilliant update from Warpaint, and it's the sort of chart you want to be looking at, I suppose, in these sorts of horrible markets. Steeply rising trend channel there from April, floor of the channel there near the 50-day moving average at £3.03, and we're looking for as high as £3.80 by the end of this month, especially after the way the shares are gapping through the previous October resistance. Finishing off with Zoo Digital, which is another charting win, if one can say that. We've hit the target there that we had around the 68 pence level, and above that looking for £1 as soon as the end of next month, maybe filling that gap down at 104 that we had back in July. That's it from me today. More updates over the weekend.